banks. Where do you find a bank? You find banks on both sides of a river. They're called river banks. What does a river bank do? It directs the flow of the currency. Because it's a liquid.
God, you're good.
Yeah. So once you begin to understand how this system actually works, there are only two kinds of law on the earth. There are only two things on this earth. There's earth and water, land and water. So there are only two kinds of law on the earth. There's the law of the land and the law of the water, the law of the sea. And the law of the land is, of course, the law of the culture that's living on that piece of land. But the law of the land is different in every land. So it's the people who live on different sections of land on the earth have their own laws and their own customs. So that's referred to as the law of the land. But there is something that oversees all law in the world, and it's the law of the high seas, the law of the ocean. That's where the power is. And when you understand that the law of the sea is the law of money, which means that you can be in South Africa and get a credit card and go to China and enjoy a vacation. It doesn't matter what color you are, where you're from. It's money is money. And so consequently, money is referred to as the law of the high seas. It's the liquid assets. It's the cash flow. Let me give you an example of this. When all commerce is based on water. Water is commerce. So when a ship pulls into a harbor, the ship pulls in, parks at the dock, it ties off at the dock. Every single piece coming off of that ship must have its own certificate of manifest. Because each piece, it has a serial number. How much does it weigh? What color is it? How many doors does it have? And so each piece has to have its certificate of manifest. Well, the ship pulls in and parks. Where it sits at is in its berth. It's called berthing a ship. She's sitting in her berth. All ships are by law female because she sits in her berth. And consequently, every item that comes off that ship has to have a certificate of manifest or a birth certificate. So consequently, when you are born, you came out of your mother's water. Her water broke. According to International Maritime Admiralty Law of England, you are a Maritime Admiralty product. You came out of her water. So consequently, you are a product. You are a security on the New York Stock Exchange. Your body is worth over $1 million on the New York Stock Exchange.
That's not what she said.
So I'm just saying, so once you understand the flow of how this world and banks really work, once you finally get it,
Who comes up with all this?
it comes out of the ancient Roman Empire. Under Caesars of Rome, they developed maritime admiralty, and they took Caesars of Rome took it from the Phoenicians and the Canaanites in the Middle East. And the whole system is just an extraordinary system of occult magical words and terms and banks and government and how things work. I'm just telling you that no matter how well you have been trained, I don't care if you're an attorney or lawyer, and there's a big difference between being a lawyer and an attorney, just as there's a big difference between a trial by jury and a jury trial, doesn't mean the same thing at all. Then there's something like California State and the state of California, doesn't mean the same thing at all. So once you begin to see how courts work, and when you walk into a court, why is it that you have a fence and a gate, and when your name is called, you walk through the gate? And when you walk through the gate, you put your hand on the bar, but you're not licensed to pass the bar. So once you walk through, open up the gate with your hand on the bar, you're not licensed to pass the bar. So therefore, you are now dead. You are, because your body, by law, is a corporation. And consequently, when you die, you're a corpse, because your body is a corporation and you're dead, because all corporations are dead. They're not, you can't take Ford Motor Company out for dinner, right? It's just a word. It doesn't have any life. So once you sit down, you are a dead man. Consequently, it's just an extraordinary world of words, terms, and symbols that attorneys know, lawyers know, judges know, but we don't know.
Is there a book?
Yes. It's up here.
That's years of knowledge. So I guess, Jordan, you won't get a chip when they offer it to you.
You can bet on that.
How about you, Roger?
As I was saying, I really wouldn't even get a vaccination in today's world. They just... I have a dear friend who's a holistic physician, and he's a very dear-hearted soul. And he treats a lot of ADD and other problems of children. And they just announced, I think it was last week, that there is a suspicion that some of the problems that kids suffer today may have been due to the early vaccinations they had in early childhood.
You know, we're coming to a point where it was so interesting listening to Jordan, and I was thinking that we're going down the birth canal, good, bad, and ugly, and the planet is a great mother. The pregnancy is over, and we're on our way out, and we're going to be born in some way. And I was thinking that what it is going to feel like is that this was always the world of the dead, that this is not really awake, that we are not really alive yet. We only feel as if we are. And when the future comes, we will look back and say to ourselves, how could we ever have been like that? And I thought to myself, will this species, will mankind be born stillbirth or a live birth? That's, I think, what this is, all of this war and this secret battle is all about. That along with wealth and power, or what Freud said, honor, riches, power, fame, and he was talking about men and the love of women, what all men desire. When we embrace these, we also embrace, in a sense, the death of our soul. And so when the body of man is born into the universe, the only ones left will be the living souls. And the living souls will express what has become human consciousness into the future and into the universe in a way that right now we cannot understand any better than a caterpillar can imagine the butterfly that lives within it. So I think that's where we are.
So I guess that means you won't take a chip either.